Hi, Stefan. Hi.
Hello.
Jimmy said he was in a lot of pain, and he finally started to move better in the fourth quarter. I mean, just how gutsy of a performance out there by him tonight to be able to do what he did, and that rebound he pulled down at the end as well.
Sheer determination and will. You know, we held it down in Game 3, and I know he wanted to be out there, and injuries are tough, especially in the playoffs. But for him to gut through that first half and get the wheels going and then get turned up, second half, both ends of the floor, it's why he is who he is and why he means so much to us. So this is, gutty performance for sure.
You've kind of been there before, too, where you've come back from an injury and you weren't 100%, but you go out there and you do what you do. What's the mentality when you know you can't be 100%? What takes you through 4 quarters of a game?
Just the sense of urgency at the moment. No matter really how it looks, you understand it's a long game and there's going to be opportunities for you to make your impact felt. And just having a knack for, it doesn't have to be loud scoring opportunities or whatnot. Just there's moments where you feel like you can make a play and you have the confidence in yourself to do it. So it helps when somebody lights a fire under you too. I know we all saw that.
Hey, Steph. Brandon was really good today on both ends. What did you see from him today?
Yeah, I could spend all day talking about him, Buddy. Draymond stopped down the stretch. Talked about Jimmy, QP and coming in, hitting a couple of big ones and momentum. But, everybody contributed at a level that we need, and that's the playoffs. Like, every game has a different identity and a different feel. And it's hard to predict how it's going to look, but you have to have 5 guys who are on the floor ready for their moment. BP did that. There were certain matchups that he liked and took advantage of, made some timely shots for us. All you want is everybody to be confident to, take open shots, play the way that they see fit and just bring energy, and he did that from the jump.
You mentioned light a fire. Maybe that's a reference to some Dylan Brooks things. What did you think of your technical foul? And did you think we know they're physical. We know this has been a feisty series. Was there even more inciting in this game than maybe even the past few?
There were more reviews, and every game has been physical, and there's been moments. And you expect 2 teams to not like each other at this point. Like 4 games in, physical series. Every game is just a battle. It's what you expect when, everybody's competing at a high level. You don't want the antics to distract from the game, and I think we did a good job of bouncing back in the second half and not letting, those type of episodes really get under our skin at all and channel that energy in the right direction. So that's what a good team can do, and we did that in the second half.
Hey, Steph, you seem pretty excited to celebrate this one with Draymond afterward. Obviously, he made the big play at the end, but what can you just say about his night as a whole, picking up the early fouls, but staying there and being there at the end to make that play?
Yeah, he kind of bookended the game. It was kind of funny. He hit those 2 threes to start and got us going. We finally got off to a better start. Foul trouble and all that other stuff took away some of his minutes in the meat of the game, but that's what you want right there. I think I heard Coach talk about like it's me taking a game-winning shot. It's Draymond getting a game-winning stop, especially when it's a one-on-one type of situation where they're just going to try him, and he stood tall, took the challenge, and to be able to do that with how the rest of the game went is just a testament to him understanding the moment and staying locked in and engaged and doing what he needs to do to help us win.
Steph, two questions for you. One, is the taunting a sign of you turning over a new leaf and becoming a villain?
I'm not going to – yes, I am actually. That was so stupid because he had did it literally the play before, and I just returned the favor, but they didn't see him. They saw me. It's like, siblings, the second one's going to get in trouble. So that was me.
As a guy who's seen these games, so many come down to the end, what's more agonizing, more difficult, when you need to get a bucket to end the game, to win a game, or you need to get a stop to win a game? It was an excellent question. Thank you for saying so.
It was a good question. It's more agonizing. Defense for sure, just because you don't have as much control. I think you probably ask Draymond, it's the opposite answer, but that's how we see the game. So you either way, you feel like you can do enough to get over the hump and make a play to win a game. I think I had missed that little floater to try to go up 3, and I felt like I had missed an opportunity to give us a little bit of cushion. And I'm sure Draymond on the other end was like, all right, it's my turn. And he answered the call. It was unbelievable to watch.
What are the challenges to closing out a series now that you'll have a chance to on Wednesday, and how valuable would it be to make this a short series?
That's pretty straightforward. The more rest you get, the better. You don't want to mess around with the game, but you understand closeout games are extremely difficult because of desperation from the other side. Trying to do it on the road is even more challenging. Just the idea you have to stick with 48. I remember our first closeout game, or my first experience in 2013 playing Denver. I think we were like up 10 with, if I remember correctly, a couple of minutes. We turned the ball over so many times, and it felt like it was the longest, like 2-3 minute stretch to finish a game. And it's been helpful to go through it a bunch of times over the last decade, but it is just an experience that it takes everything out of you, because the team doesn't want to lay down. They're not going to quit. They're going to feed off their home crowd. It doesn't mean you have to play perfect, and you don't want to come in with that mentality, like, if we miss shots early or if they go on a run early. You don't want to get in your head. It's a long game. Be resilient, relentless, and you got to be disciplined more so than anything. I think that's our biggest challenge.
Steph, Jimmy just said that during the last play, he told Draymond Green, you got to stop, I will get rebounds. How would you describe the team's effort on defense?
Yeah, it's a good combination. Draymond, making a stand, making Sengun take a tough shot. They had Steven Adams down there, Jabari Smith, so that's how they kind of came back in that end of the third, taking advantage of a big lineup. So for him to go get that rebound, and we saw even the confidence to be able to get up with the injury that he had, didn't work out in game 2. But he turned the page and knew how important that was for us to seal the game. So I just like the fact that they're talking about it too. That's how you build confidence with teammates. You do your job, I'll do mine.
Steph, you mentioned lighting a fire under you. Jimmy said you look forward to it when you come into a game and you're playing 40-plus minutes 2 nights before. Does it really help to be trashed, or for someone to be trash talking to you? Does it really just put that behind you and you just can go?
We've seen it all. And like I said, there's moments where it can distract you if you let it, but you kind of have to check yourself. Nobody's trying to be soft and let people try to walk all over you. You got to protect yourself, protect your team. Some of those tactics are done to take you out of your game. So if you allow it to, then you kind of play right into their hands. So whether I'm talking or smiling my way through it or having fun with it, everybody handles it a little differently, but you got to focus on basketball.
So to follow up, do you think it's better, being that you guys have championship pedigree, that you are able to respond so well to it versus a younger team when you guys are giving it back and they're kind of making sloppy plays or sloppy mistakes or obvious cheap shots where they get caught by refs?
No, I think we have championship pedigree because we figured that out on the front end, and that's kind of who we are consistently. So this team is different. We have to kind of figure it out on the fly because this particular group hasn't done it together before. So everybody individually has to be as disciplined as possible. that's the way we're going to win.
You were honored or announced today as the teammate of the year in the NBA. Just what does that honor mean to you?
It was cool because you're around a long time and understand, building culture and being a consistent presence in the locker room, on and off the court, being somebody that people can reach out to appropriately for like advice or building relationships, that type of thing is a really cool honor. My favorite part about it was when Coach at shoot around this morning started to give the whole spiel before anybody knew who won. 3 other people got nominated in our huddle before it got to me, which speaks to the culture that we have around here and reflection of how much fun I've had being a part of this organization for so long. So definitely a special honor for sure. Pretty cool trophy too.
Jimmy Butler three's clutch free throws push Warriors past Rockets, take 3-1 series lead. In a back-and-forth Game 4 that featured 9 lead changes, it was Jimmy Butler 3 who delivered when it mattered most. With 58.7 seconds remaining, Butler calmly sank 3 pressure-packed free throws to give the Golden State Warriors a final lead they wouldn't relinquish, securing a gritty 109-106 win over the Houston Rockets on Monday night at Chase Center. Houston made it interesting in the final minute. Alperen Sengun hit a key shot to cut the Warriors' lead to just 1 with 40.8 seconds to go. Golden State had 2 chances to put the game away on the next possession, but came up empty. Then with just 6.4 seconds left, Draymond Green, finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, delivered a game-saving stop, locking down Sengun and forcing a miss. "He's the best defender I've ever seen," head coach Steve Kerr said post-game. "Big moments don't faze him. He's the defensive version of Steph Curry. He just shows up when you need him most." Jimmy Butler 3, perfect from the line, 12-for-12, secured the rebound after the miss and was fouled immediately. With ice in his veins, he knocked down 2 more free throws to stretch the lead to 3. Fred VanVleet had a final shot to tie it at the buzzer, but his deep 3-point attempt came up short. Butler finished with 27 points, 14 of them in the fourth quarter, plus 6 assists and 5 rebounds. He scored the Warriors' final 7 points and 9 of their last 12, fully earning his playoff Jimmy nickname. Remarkably, this was Butler's first game back after missing Game 3 with a pelvic and deep glute injury. Yet, he didn't miss a beat. "What makes Jimmy who he is his ability to rise in the biggest moments," Kerr said. "That foul he drew on Dillon Brooks in the corner? Cold-blooded. 3 free throws. Then gets the stop, comes back, and hits 2 more. That's playoff Jimmy." Draymond's statement start. Draymond Green came out firing, hitting 2 3-pointers on the Warriors' first 2 possessions. He followed it with a strong defensive play against Sengun and found rookie Brandon Podziemski in the corner for another 3, helping the Dubs jump out to an early 9-2 lead. Green ended the night with 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and the biggest defensive play of the night. His plus 17 plus-minus was the highest on the team. He also passed Isaiah Thomas to become the 15th all-time leader in playoff assists. On the game-sealing stop, Green said, "He likes to isolate at the top of the key. I just backed off, found my angle. Stack always tells us, it's time to lock in. I knew if I could pick my spot, I could force a tough shot, and that's exactly what happened." Podziemski steps up. Brandon Podziemski had the best playoff performance of his young career, dropping 26 points and hitting 6 3-pointers, a team high. He also grabbed 5 boards, dished 5 assists, and added 2 steals and a block over 40 minutes of action. "Brandon plays like a 10-year vet," Kerr said. "He's a second-year player, but he's got the poise and confidence of someone who's been here a long time. He was key to everything we did tonight." After the game, Podziemski reflected on his mindset. "You've got to tell yourself you belong. Great players embrace these moments. They don't run from them. Every rep, every practice, it builds to this. So when you're here, you just say, 'I've done this before.' It's just another shot, another play." Quinton Post shines off the bench. Rookie Quinton Post delivered a playoff career-high 13 points in 20 minutes, hitting 2 timely threes and stretching the floor for Golden State when it mattered. Third quarter surge. The Warriors came out of halftime down 7, but flipped the script with a 13-0 run to open the third quarter. They hit 7 of their first 8 shots and outscored Houston 18-1 to seize momentum. The Rockets didn't hit a field goal until the 7:08 mark of the quarter. Buddy delivers. Buddy Hield chipped in 15 points, including a huge 3 with 3:32 left that gave the Dubs a 1-point lead at a critical moment. Next up, close it out. The series heads back to Houston for Game 5 on Wednesday night, where the Warriors have a chance to close things out and punch their ticket to the Western Conference semifinals, for 30 p.m. Pacific Time on NBC/SBA, TNT/TrueTV/Max. To still be in the fight at this point in the season, that's all you can ask for, Draymond Green said. This is what you train all summer for. The pain, the early mornings, it's for moments like this. I like our chances, he added. We've done it before. And we believe we can do it again. Momentum shift and growing confidence. Game 4 didn't just mark a win, it marked a turning point. The Warriors now hold a commanding 3-1 lead in the series, a position from which NBA teams historically advance over 95% of the time. After a regular season filled with injuries, lineup adjustments, and doubt, Golden State is starting to look like a battle-tested contender again, and perhaps even a team peaking at the right moment. With Jimmy Butler 3 back in the lineup and already in playoff form, the Warriors have rediscovered their identity, gritty, poised, and unshakably confident under pressure. It feels like we've weathered the storm, Stephen Curry said after the game. There were nights in January and February where people wrote us off. But we stayed together. Now you can feel the chemistry clicking, on both ends. A team effort, not just star power. Though Butler led the scoring and made the clutch plays, the victory was a full team effort. Curry, despite a quieter scoring night, 17 points, ran the offense with his usual vision and gravity, constantly drawing double teams that created open looks for others. Brandon Podziemski and Quinton Post brought energy and spacing, while Buddy Hield's timely shot in the fourth showed his veteran value. Kevin Looney, often overlooked, contributed 8 rebounds and played a key role anchoring the interior defense, especially in the Warriors' dominant third quarter. Jonathan Kuminga added valuable minutes off the bench, contributing with his physicality and defensive versatility. Houston's missed opportunity. On the other side, the Rockets walked off the court visibly frustrated. After holding a lead at halftime and matching the Warriors for most of the game, they faltered in the biggest moments, something head coach Ime Udoka acknowledged. We had our chances, Udoka said. You can't give a team like Golden State extra possessions or open looks late in the game. And when you do, they'll make you pay. Alperen Sengun, who had 22 points and 10 rebounds, took responsibility for the final possession. That one's on me, he said post-game. I rushed it. I should have been more patient. But we're not done, we'll fight in Game 5. Fred VanVleet, who had 19 points and 8 assists, echoed the urgency. We've been counted out all year. We know we've got to win 3 straight. It starts with 1. Media and fan reactions. The basketball world responded quickly to the Warriors' performance. On social media, Playoff Jimmy was trending within minutes of the game's conclusion, with fans and analysts praising Butler's ice-cold clutch performance. ESPN's Kendrick Perkins tweeted, "That boy Jimmy Butler different. 12-4-12 at the line. That's playoff DNA." Stephen A. Smith said on First Take, "This is why you can never count out the Warriors. Butler is a killer. Podziemski looks like a young Klay. And Draymond is still that dude when it counts. They're built for this." Draymond's defensive stand was featured in highlight reels and quickly drew comparisons to his iconic stops in previous playoff runs. Meanwhile, Podziemski's breakout game prompted conversations around his potential as a long-term core piece. Looking ahead to Game 5. Game 5 in Houston will be electric. The Rockets, facing elimination, are expected to come out swinging. But with momentum clearly on Golden State's side and their stars locked in, the Warriors have a golden opportunity to close out the series and earn some extra rest before round 2. Coach Kerr isn't taking anything for granted. We've been around long enough to know how hard it is to win in the playoffs, especially on the road. Houston's going to bring everything they've got. But if we stay focused, defend, and trust our spacing and pace, we'll put ourselves in a good position. For Butler, it's simple: we're not satisfied. We've got one more to go.